Well, look here, guys. I decided I was going to start telling some stories that things that happened in my life, and some things that I feel like God was in. Some things I figured out how stupid I was, or how fortunate or blessed that I am to still be alive. And one of the stories was years ago. A friend of mine, he bought a new boat. Well, it was actually a used boat, and but it was new to him, and he decided that he wanted him to take it down to the river, and we was gonna ride up and down the river a little bit. And so we just out riding up down the river, and he kind of get on it pretty hard there a little bit, and then he'd let off, and you get on it again, we let off. We've been down there for a few hours, and we're just about getting ready to go, and we I told him I said, hey man, why don't we just ride up in this slough right here just a little bit and just see what's up in here. So he's all right. So we rode up in the slough, and so we get up in the slough, we make a turn, start coming back out, and all at once I'm up in the front of the boat, he's in the back, and he said, hey man, the boat's sinking. I said, man, the boat ain't sinking. He said, yeah, it is, it's sinking. And I look back, and water is starting to come in the edge of the boat. And we run up to the front and everything, and he said, turn the bilge pump on, turn the bilge pump on. Well, by the time he turns the bilge pump on, he's trying to pump the whole river completely back out of the boat. So I dropped the trolling motor, and about the time I get to the bank, the whole back end just goes under. There's only the nose sticking out. About 3/4 of the boat's underwater. All right, so we're at Lock 5, and we're quite a few miles up the river from the boat landing, and we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do. How we, now, luckily it's still plenty of daylight and everything, but at this time, we don't nobody have cell phones. This was, late '80s, I guess, and so we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do. So we decided we're gonna swim across the river and go over to the power plant or the steam plant. It's across the river from us, but it's still a pretty good little ways over. So anyway, we get the life jackets on and everything, and we start crossing the river, and we finally get to the other side, and that's tough right there, plus we've been out in the sun all day and everything, and it's pretty good little old paddle across there, pretty good little swim, across the river. So we get over there. When we get there to the sandbar on the other side, we have to climb the bank to get out. And then I don't know how far we had to walk. I can't remember. I mean, it seemed like a mile to the steam plant. So we walk all the way over to the steam plant. Well, it's a Saturday. I don't know how many people works at this place on those days, but we walk around in there. We walk up in the place like we own the place. We can't find nobody. We're looking and walk around the place. I'm sure we wasn't really supposed to be in there, but we're in there. So finally we run up with this dude and say, hey man, we sunk the boat. Can we use your phone? So he lets us use the phone. We call my partner's dad. He said, all right, I'll be there in just a few minutes. So then we start heading back to the river. Well, we get a little ways back down there, and somehow we meet up with this truck, and they give us a little, I don't know if the people that work there, I don't know where the truck came from. Anyhow, they let us sit on the tailgate. He drove us back down to the edge of the river. So we get down to the edge of the river, we climb back down, and now we're on the sandbar, and I'm slam out. I'm tired, so I just lay back on the sandbar. I hadn't laid back more than 30 seconds probably, and a barge comes around the bend. My partner says, hey man, look, let's flag this barge down and we'll ride down to the sandbar. I said, no man, I said, they'll be up here to get us in a minute. I said, there ain't no sense in flagging the bars down. I said, here. Well, what's he do? He starts waving the bars down. Well, if anybody knows anything about barges, they can't just stop on a dime. So he starts stopping. I know he ain't got no brakes, but I guess he reverses his engines and everything. And we watch him, and he goes all the way down pretty good little ways down there, and he starts backing up. And I'm just sitting there, I'm just shaking my head like, oh my gosh. So by the time he gets backed up, they wave us over there, and we swim out to the barge. They pull us up on the barge. I'm doing everything I can do to get on the barge because I am, like I said, I'm just wore out. Well, we get on there, so they start taking us to the boat landing. And barges don't go very fast. And what should have took us about 5 minutes probably in his boat, it probably took us 30 minutes in the barge, or if a lot longer. I'll tell you how long it took. By the time we got on the barge and drove down there, the guy gets on the horn there and he hollers, he sees people loading and unloading down there, and he says, hey, we got a couple guys that's sunk their boat or whatever. I can't remember exactly what he says. Can anybody help them? Well, I see this guy wave. He just unloaded his boat. That was my partner's dad. I said, my gosh. I said, that's your daddy, man. I said, I said, this ain't gonna be good. And it was his daddy and a friend of his. So we get off the barge, we get with them. So we have to go back and try to get this boat. He brought some come-alongs. And we gotta get this boat out of the water. We come along in the boat out of the water. And we work and we push and we work and we work and we work till we finally get the boat up on the bank, get the water out of it to where it'll float. And to what had happened that, you know, we didn't know, it's when he was gassing it, going down the river and up the river and down the river and up the river. Well, every time he would slow down or stop, the water was coming over the back. And he never turned on the bilge pump. And it continued to come over the back, and it continued to come over the back, and it continued to come over the back till it filled the boat up, until it got so heavy that it just sunk it. But at that time, you know, he never had no boat like that, so he didn't know. So anyhow, now the boat they came and got us in was a little aluminum boat, and it probably had about a 50 horsepower engine on it. So he's towing us back down the river. Now it's starting to get dark. And this whole time, all I had on was a pair of shorts. I don't even think I had a shirt on. I think I left my shirt in the truck. I don't think I even had a shirt on. It seems like it takes a day and a half to tow this thing back to the boat landing. We finally get it back to the boat landing. I am about to freeze to death. And I am tired. So they back the trailer in, they start loading it. And man, as soon as I get in the daggum truck, there was nothing I could do anymore. I got to get warm. I got to get in the truck. So I get in the truck. They loaded up, and we took off to the house. But that was just one of the crazy stories. I may have left out a couple of little things here and there and everything that, you know, you may or may not have needed to know. But that's just one of the crazy things that happened to us back when I was young.